This is absolutely outrageous, and we will get through some of the Tesla stock catalysts as well, but check this out first. This is just dumb. Starting on April 18th, the Lincoln Aviator GT plug-in hybrid, which starts at $72,000 and only has a 21-mile electric range, will get the full $7,500 EV credit, but the Model 3 rear-wheel drive, which has 272 miles of range and starts at $42,000, will get a reduced $3,750 EV credit. I think these hybrids should not be getting any subsidies at all, or very tiny subsidies. That subsidy is not helping as much to transition to EVs as maybe it should be, because if you are just getting a plug-in hybrid, which by the way, most people do not plug these in, because they only have a few miles of range, it doesn't really make sense to plug in. Meanwhile, Tesla is not going to get the full credit, even though it is about to build another battery factory in the USA. And these batteries will actually be put into actual EVs, not just plug-in hybrids. You know, I have an idea here. Maybe Tesla should sell vehicles with about, maybe let's say 30 miles of range. Just grab a few batteries from whichever local US supplier, put them in the car, and then sell them with 30 miles of range, and then let the customer come back in, and you will put in the actual bigger battery. This way, the customer actually gets the full tax credit as well as decent range. I'm being a little bit silly here, of course, and it would make sense that Tesla would not get the full credit if Tesla was not planning to build this new factory in the USA, but Tesla is planning to do that. This is a draft of a government document that will be published very soon, and clearly there will be loopholes, it appears, that will allow some automakers to still receive a full $7,500 EV tax credit, even though they will not meet the official requirements for where batteries are going to come from. And because Tesla committed to building this factory in the US, I think it does make sense to grant an exception that would be certainly reasonable. If plug-in hybrids like this one receive the full $7,500 tax credit, I would not be complaining at all if there were no such vehicles like this one that get the full tax credit. But this is just absolutely ridiculous, unfair, and corruption? Yeah? No? If you use Twitter, go to my profile and make sure that you retweet this tweet from Sawyer. Let's make sure that as many people know about this as possible, because this needs to change. And now here's the latest catalyst list from Gary Black. Let's go through all of these. Number one, he thinks that Tesla will most likely beat earnings per share expectations. Looking at the previous 11 quarters, only once Tesla did not beat EPS expectations. So what do you think are the chances that Tesla is not going to beat EPS expectations this time? So that is certainly a very reasonable catalyst to have. However, I don't think it is that important for this quarter. The important part is going to be, what are the gross margins? As long as they are about 20%, I think we are good short term. If we are not, we are going to see a buying opportunity, perhaps. Number two, Megapack revenues doubling year over year. It will certainly be very interesting to look at this as well. There have been some Tesla bulls that have been very excited about the mega packs, but it has not showed up in the financials clearly yet. So it will be interesting if this is that quarter where it will become more apparent or not. Number three is clarity about the $7,500 EV tax credit. I think everyone expects all of the models that qualified until now for the full credit to keep receiving the credit, except for the rear-wheel drive version. So I don't think really this would be much of a catalyst. It would be a catalyst if somehow the Model 3 rear-wheel drive version is going to get the full EV credit, which I don't think is likely. But if it does happen, that will be great. Gary Black expects a new Gigafactory announcement in the second quarter. That is certainly quite likely. We know that Tom Zhu said Tesla will be building another gigafactory together with the one in Mexico. If you believe that, yep, we should learn about that factory very soon. Number 5 is Twitter CEO announcement in the third quarter. I don't think it is happening that soon. I hope it does. I hope it happens this quarter and not in Q3. That would be great. But Elon said that he will probably stay as CEO of Twitter until at least the end of this year and possibly, I would think maybe even next year. I mean, Elon himself said at the World Government Summit earlier this year that I am guessing probably towards the end of the year would be good timing to find someone else to run the company, meaning Twitter. I think it should be in a stable position at the end of this year. And we know Elon is often a little bit optimistic about timing, so I would add a little bit extra time to that. But if it happens sooner, I will be certainly happy. Next item on the list is Tesla stock buybacks. Perhaps in Q4, says Gary Black. I think often Gary Black has good insights, especially if you would like to learn how Wall Street thinks. Gary Black is probably the best person to go to because he also understands how retail thinks to a large extent. He disagrees often with retail, but he is basically the most bullish Wall Street kind of person that we have. But yeah, this is actually from 2022, September 25th. And check this out. Tesla stock buybacks in December Q4 basically of 2022. And I made that video on September 28th. And I didn't think that Tesla was going to do a buyback last year. This year, though, it is definitely more likely because cash is building up. If interest rates start to come down, there may actually be a possibility for a buyback then, because I think currently the Tesla board is worried about the economic conditions, and if the whole economy goes down the toilet, then you probably want to have some extra cash just in case. And a buyback would probably certainly be a catalyst. I'm not counting on it, but at some point it will be inevitable. Just will it be this year or later? Gary has been pretty optimistic about Tesla buybacks. As you can see, this tweet is from December 12th, and he was expecting a buyback last quarter, which obviously did not happen. But eventually, Gary will get the timing right on this one because it is really inevitable. It's just a matter of time. Number 7, the Cybertruck launch. Gary thinks it will be in Q4. It is a possibility. It may happen a little bit earlier. We don't really know, but Elon did say that next year is going to be important in terms of production, how many Cybertrucks will be produced. But this year, it's not going to be material yet. A compact launch in 2024. I think that will be really a big catalyst. Unveiling of the next generation vehicle, I think alone will be quite a catalyst. According to a Mexican official, Tesla should unveil the next generation vehicle, or the vehicle that will be produced in the factory in Mexico, which we know is going to be the next generation vehicle. He said that it should be unveiled once the factory breaks ground. I think that alone would be quite a catalyst, unless it looks like a Cybertruck and then people just sell Tesla stock again, just like they did on the unveiling of Cybertruck Day. Tesla dropped 6% that day. Hopefully Elon does not throw any steel balls at the car. And Gary Black has a Tesla stock price target of $370 for the next 6 to 12 months. So don't go hard on Gary. If you see Gary on Twitter, be nice to him. He is a great addition to our Tesla community, and he is, after all, a Tesla stock bull, and we like Tesla stock bulls. Gary here also explains how Tesla will beat or could beat earnings expectations, because some people are skeptical. How are they going to beat EPS if they had to cut prices to barely hit delivery? Gary says, number 1, mega packs. Number 2, Model Y mix being higher, and Tesla probably has a higher gross margin from the Model Y than the Model 3, and then FSD deferred revenue recognition. And this is one way how we Tesla stock investors are benefiting from the Twitter purchase that Elon made. Community notes, they actually work pretty well. This was posted on April 6th, just now. Tesla malfunctions on highway, stops, starts smoking, and explodes roughly 16 times. EVs are bombs waiting to go off, says someone. And then there are community notes right here correcting what actually happened. This is a video of an accident that actually occurred in Russia in 2014 involving unsecured high-pressure cylinders. Not only was it not a Tesla, it was not even an EV. Community notes, I love them. And this is one of the bigger reasons why I remain extremely bullish on Tesla stock long term. And that's because Elon corrects himself. He said recently, just now really, I am dumb. Way more often than I would like to be. You don't see executives in charge of huge companies saying things like that. And this is also a very important poll. Actually, it is crucial. If you advertise a product to a consumer who cannot afford to buy your product, can the consumer now afford your product because you advertised it? And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.